Alrighty folks, hello there. This is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic of the Gathering Arena Draft video. Let's fire off some more Premier Draft Strixhaven. Hopefully get out the dumpster mythic rankings by the end of this. I guess I have 2 days left since right now it is the month of May, and I think there's a 31st day. Let me check. Yep. So I have 2 more days before I can get out of dumpster ranking, but I don't think it even matters. So let's fire off some Premier Draft Strixhaven and stop concerning about things that are irrelevant. Pack 1, pick 1. Best uncommon, Sprite Cultivate. Best common, Mage Duel. And everything else doesn't seem amazing. Clever Master can be an insane card in the right deck. As you saw previously, there was a Silverquill Aggro deck that I drafted with double Guiding Voice, and this card was quite strong, and can definitely run away with some games. But I think the first pick here is just Cultivate, can give us a lot of options. Obviously, of course, we need to be base green, but I think green is a good color in this set, and this can allow us to splash. It's basically 3 mana, draw 2, and then put 2, and then ramp, and also get your color source. So I think this has a lot more value than the Mage Duel, which is definitely a strong removal spell, especially in the Quandrix decks that are lacking removal. Also forgot to mention Practical Research, but I think we just want to stick with a single colored card and keep our options open, so Cultivate seems great. After first picking Cultivates, the red-white aggro deck might be open with a Venerable Warsinger, but it doesn't necessarily pair well with our first pick. There's a Bookworm, which is nice, powerful late-game curve topper, and plays well with Cultivates. Master Cementress is also a pretty good 4-drop, but definitely I think the Bookworm is a lot better, since this is already a 2-for-1 once it enters the battlefield, and you can eventually just bring it back. And yeah, it's also a nice late game finisher, so I think it has a lot more utility than Master Cementress. Master Cementress, of course, is a good ground blocker and can give all your giant fractal tokens trample if we need to. But I think the Bookworm is where we want to be, and it gives us a nice card to ramp into after first picking Cultivates. The best card in this pack is probably between Bookworm and Venerable Warsinger, but we're not red-white aggro. We're going to be drafting a green ramp this time, and Bookworm is great, so we'll take it. And wow, Master Pugilist, pick 3, and there's a mythic uncommon Killian in this pack as well, but we'll just take a Pugilist, and it plays well for Cultivate 2, since we should be able to get to 8 lands quite easily, and it gives us another nice spell that rewards us for ramping, so this is great. Sometimes the second half can come up, especially if you have a powerful bomb like Bookworm in the late game. You can just copy the Bookworm and turn all of your creatures into Bookworms, which can be pretty exciting. Here in this pack, there's an Arcane Subtraction, Hunt for Specimens, Skirt Colony, and a Pest Summoning. We could be in Witterbloom, and Hunt for Specimens great, but we could also be in Quandrix, and Arcane Subtraction is great. If we want to pick the middle lane path, I guess there's a Skirt Colony, which also rewards us for having a bunch of lands on the battlefield, so it does also play well with Cultivate. So I don't think I have a reason to decide between Witterbloom or Quandrix here, and I can just take a Skirt Colony. I think it's a lot better than the Pest Summoning here. Otherwise, I think if we want to be mostly a ramp deck, we want to be based blue. In that case, Arcane Subtraction would be a nice way to learn. But the Skirt Colony is still a very good 2-drop, and I'm fine just staying mono green for now. And I think I'll take an Environmental Sciences over Hunt for Specimens just to allow us to fix and splash more easily. Now with a Cultivate and Environmental Sciences, we're geared up to be 3 colors, and I think this is the best common in the set behind, after the heated debates. I think this is the best common in general. You just want to make sure you always have your first copy of these in any deck. But this is going to be even better with a Cultivate. And pretty late Needlethorn Drake. I think I'll take it over the Introduction to Annihilation, which is a fine lesson, but definitely one of the more weaker ones. But I'm always happy with a Needlethorn Drake in the Quandrix deck, especially with Arcane Subtraction. And I also want to lean a little bit more towards Quandrix 2, due to the fact that I have an Augmenter Pugilist, and the Echoing Equation half could be relevant sometimes. So I think I'll take the Needlethorn Drake. and Pop Quiz, although there's a Fractal Summoning, which is a great lesson we can grab up here. Definitely better than the Containment Breach. If Fractal Summoning wasn't in this pack, I would probably still take the Containment Breach, since it's nice to have a way to deal with artifacts and enchantments. And I don't need to main deck something bad like the Plummet card in the set. But we'll take a Fractal Summoning here. Also late Lash of Malice. Ooh, we could splash for red with an Explosive Welcome on turn 8. I mean, usually when you're in the Quadrix decks, you want to primarily splash red with the Explosive Welcomes and Elemental Pass pieces in the late game. Otherwise, Weiser's Vortex Runner, which is fine, gives us a fine evasive creature and also rewards us for gaining up to 8 lands. But I think Explosive Welcome is more exciting, and hopefully we get a Vortex Runner later. Ooh, even Practical Research, yeah, I'm happy splashing for this as well. Alright, I guess we're going to be doing it again. We're just a Temur control deck, which is kind of fun. And, yeah, I don't like Aerialist. It's pretty bad. I also don't like Ogre Ballast here. Guess I'll just take the uncommon for the Vault. And here, nothing else in case we end up, I guess, Witherbloom. I don't mind a Duress. And wow, pretty late Hunt for Specimens. I guess I'll try it here, but I think we're going to be base Quandrix, if I'm not mistaken, but still pretty late Hunt. Really good, excellent card that allows us to learn. And a decent turn 2 play as well in any Silverquill or Witherbloom deck. But yeah, the first pack went really nice. Hopefully we can just be Quandrix splashing red. Ooh, even Containment Breach. Wow. Containment Breach. Green is very open. Okay, Exponential Growth is not a very exciting card, however. I don't think we want to splash for a second Explosive Welcome, but I don't mind the Elemental Summoning as a very good lesson here. There's also Professor of Zoomancy, which is also a pretty good 4-drop in the green deck. Currently, we just don't have too many ways to learn, so I could consider the Professor of Zoomancy on 4, actually. Gives us a decent sized threat that can make a pest token, which can come in handy. This is still double blue to cast, so it's not the easiest. Although now with the Environmental Sciences, it's pretty good. You know, we don't have too many ways to learn, so I actually might be inclined to just take the Professor of Zoomancy as a good 4-drop. Sure, pretty unexciting first pick. First pack 1 pick 1 would be Professor of Symbology, I mean, not the Professor of Zoomancy. But I think I like this Professor here, giving us a good 4-drop. Teachings of Archaic versus Overgrown Arch versus the Leyline Invocation. Again, we're lacking ways to learn, even though I do like Teachings of the Archaic. The fact that we don't have much to learn means that I want the Overgrown Arch, so we can find our Fractal Summonings, Environmental Sciences, and Containment Breach in the first place. And this is still a pretty fine 2-drop in the Quandrix decks. Obviously better in Witherbloom, but still fine 2-drop, and it helps us learn, which we're kind of lacking. So I think I like the Overgrown Arch over Teachings of the Archaic and Leyline Invocation. Okay, Aether Helix is great. There's also an Elemental Masterpiece we can ramp into. Karok Wrangler is fine, but I prefer the Aether Helix, since this is just a powerful temple play, and also can return back any permanent from your graveyard to your hand, so just a great 2-for-1. That way we can compare ourselves to Quandrix more. Karok Wrangler is also fine, but also probably just weaker than a Witherbloom Pledge Mage on 5, since it still takes time to grow. Overall, I haven't been too impressed by this, but I do like the Aether Helix a lot over the Elemental Masterpiece. Second, Environmental Sciences isn't that demanding, so I think we'll just take the Aether Helix. Wow, Rutha. Rutha is a bomb in a straight-up Prismari deck, but in Quandrix, it's a little bit hard to get going. Here, I think I'm looking at either Eureka Moment, Serpentine Curve, Elemental Summoning, or Frost Trickster. The question is, which card do we need the most? I don't think I want to splash for Rutha, since we have some explosive late-game bombs or powerful spells already that we don't have enough mana to copy. I also don't think we have enough Learn yet for the second Elemental Summoning. Frost Trickster is fine, but I think I just like the Eureka Moment, since it provides us a bunch of ramp and card advantage. We also don't have a lot of instances and sorceries for the Serpentine Curve, and we already have a Needlethorn Drake and Scourge Colony, so I think the Eureka Moment is more important. So I think it's just an order of importance that we're looking at. Here, I guess I don't mind a Snow Day, which is fine. The best card in this pack is probably Closing Statement. but we'll just take a Snow Day as a turn 6 play, which we currently don't have. And I guess I'm fine taking the Elemental Masterpiece now. Pretty late to Killian, the mythic uncommon of the set, that I would first pick over any common, even maybe an Environmental Sciences. Because, yeah, this card is just insanely busted. But we'll take an Elemental Masterpiece as a 7-drop. So we have 2 8-drops, 1 7-drop, 1 6-drop. We definitely need some more ramp here, so glad I took the Eureka moment. Here between Arcane Subtraction and Serpentine Curve, I think we just want the Arcane Subtraction as another cheap way to learn, so we can make it easier to grab our Sciences and Fractal Summoning, since currently we only have 1 Learn card, and that's not great. Serpentine Curve would also fill the gap nicely on 4, but I think I need the Arcane Subtraction more in this deck currently. And then none of these matter. Pretty late Necrotic Fumes, but I'll take an Archway common in case. And here, I've actually seen people play Teach by Example in these Temur decks. I don't know if it's correct. It's almost like the same argument of Rutha. If you have a lot of cheap instances and sorceries, like Shock and Heated Debate and Atheist Inspiration, Rutha is great. But if you don't, it's not. But I'll still take it here over the Springmane Servant, which I think is pretty filler. Wow, Teachings of the Archaic late. But there's also a Prismari Campus. Teachings is good, don't get me wrong, but I think I'd rather just have the Campus here, since I'm looking to splash red, and I could use a Campus in the first place. Teachings is good, but I think we'll get there with a card draw. I'm not really scared of not having card advantage in the Quandrix deck or Prismari deck. Don't know if I'll play 2 Elemental Masterpieces. Could actually just play both of them over the Explosive Welcome. Here I do like my Serpentine Curve as a fine one of now. Can help me bridge the gap on 4, and we should have enough instances and sorceries to help fuel this, hopefully. Better than Prismari, but still fine one of. And we'll take a Campus here. Scourge Colony would also be nice too, but I actually like the Serpentine Curve. Gives us a nice big body if we can cast a couple of instances and sorceries. Might not need Explosive Welcome in this deck. Maybe just double Elemental Masterpiece is fine. Our late game is secure, we just need some cards, some ramp spells like Field Trip. That could be pretty powerful. Speaking of ramp, I don't mind the second Eureka moment here. Retriever Phoenix is good. We could splash for it, but it's kind of underwhelming just as a 3-mana 2/2 flyer for this type of deck. There's also Wormhole Serpent, which can give us a nice late game mana sink. But we might just have enough large creatures to crash through that we don't need the extra evasion. I'm liking the Eureka moment, giving me an extra way to help me ramp in my land drops. And Zimone is great. And if we're going to be ramping, this is a nice mana sink. Also helps us ramp, and also a powerful mana sink in the late game. And we currently don't have any mana sinks, so I'm happy taking this Zimone over the Wormhole Serpent. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a Pop Quiz, which I'm also happy with. Other great cards include Rise of Exodus. D-Spark, I've been kind of down on since it doesn't answer Fractal tokens. And there's also Return Past Color, but Zimone it is. Ooh, Divination, but I think Field Trip is just better. But there's also Emergence Sequence. This is tough. I think we want the Field Trip here. Emergence Sequence can help us ramp. It's nice. It helps us splash and fix on turn 2. But I think the Field Trip is what we're looking at, since it also not only does it allow us to learn, but also helps us ramp. The Emergence Sequence can be a little bit more volatile because it can end up getting killed in the early game, which isn't great. Whereas the Field Trip can always just grab us in Environmental Sciences. It takes a little bit more mana to get going in the Emergence Sequence, but I still think I take it here since I have a huge gap at 3. But Emergence Sequence would also be great, same with the Tezzeret's Gambit. But I think we rather prefer the Field Trip with this type of composition we currently have. So deck is shaping out really nicely. So this is -4, so we're at 19 playables. Could always see cutting the Explosive Welcome too, since we already have a couple of 7-drops and a Bookworm already. Ooh, Quandrix Apprentice. There's also Swords to Plowshare, but Quandrix Apprentice it is. We just want to hit some land drops, and this is a powerful Magecraft payoff. Definitely would take like a Heated Debate over this pack 1 pick 1. It's not like a busted mythic uncommon like Rutha or Killian, but still very strong. in a straight up Quandrix deck. This might not be a deck where we want Serpentine Curve. It's a little bit weird on turn 4, and it's not like we have a million instances and sorceries to dump, so maybe I should have taken another card. Maybe I should have taken the second Scourge Colony over this, but it could still be okay, I think. It's not great in the early game, of course, but fine in the late game. Wild Burying Books, that's great. Otherwise, the second Arcane Subtraction would be nice. Vortex Runner, but we're not going to pass it over Burying Books. Even Dramatic Finale, pick 5. So I guess the person to my right isn't drafting Quandrix or Silverquill. So probably in Witterbloom or Prismari here. That's why now I think the red has been a little bit dry. But this deck is shaping out to be very nice. And Regrowth, wow. Pretty late, pick 6. This card is amazing. But yeah, we'll take it. Just buy back over all of our spells after we finish casting them. So I probably don't need the Explosive Welcome, I don't think. Could even shave an Elemental Masterpiece if I want to. And then now we're at 20 cards. We can always put them back depending on what we pick up here. Biomathematician can be a filler 3-drop. Not sure if I want it though. Can help us prevent us from getting run over in the early game, so I might consider it, but I'll still put it in the sideboard. Overall, it's a pretty unexciting card, but could see myself playing it if I need defense in the early game. How much defense do we have? Overgrown Arch, Colony, Needlethorn Drake. These two cards I don't necessarily want to trade off, but I do like Quandrix Pledge Mage here. Also wouldn't mind a Campus and Opt, but I think the Quandrix Pledge Mage is going to be quite exceptional in this deck. And it's one of those nice cards that can snowball and basically get out of hand. If this wasn't his pack, I'd probably take the Campus, but yeah, I'm not going to pass over a Quandrix Pledge Mage. Even though Wormhole Serpent came late. Not sure if I'll play it though, but I'll keep it in the sideboard for now. Servant, sure, don't think I'm playing it. But this is the exact baseline that I'm happy with as of right now. Vortex Runner, I like that. Okay. Gives me another good finisher with all these land drops we're trying to hit towards. So we're at 22 playable, so I guess we can just fit in one more playable from the sideboard and we should be fine. Might want the second Masterpiece, might want Explosive Welcome or the Wormhole Serpent. Don't think any of these matter. Prismari Pledge Mage is not unplayable in the Quandrix deck, but also I wouldn't want to main deck it at this point. But I'll just take it here. Okay. Alright, so no Quandrix Campus, unfortunately, but we should still be fine with this deck. And we can just store in one mountain in this deck to fix for our red. So why not? Let's just keep one mountain and then decide whether or not we want more islands and forests after we take a look at this deck. So I guess this is 17 lands, and so we need 2 more cuts. I guess we still have some lessons in the sideboard that we need to put away, so we'll put both of these away. I mean, both of these, 3 of these away, and I guess we were missing 1 card at the end of the day. Let's take a look at the learn cards. 3 learn cards, and how many lessons do we have? I think we have 3 lessons, so 3 learn cards, 3 lessons, seems fine. Seems about right. Looking at the curve, I'm pretty happy with this. I like all the 5s. Don't know if I need the second Elemental Masterpiece, since I'm already splashing for 2 red cards. So probably you need something else. I'm liking all my 3s, and I'm liking all of my 2s. The Serpentine Curve could be cuttable, but let's see. We do have a decent amount of instances and sorceries to field this, and we could use another large creature in the deck. So it's actually pretty decent here. And we can always again learn and then grab some of the instances and sorceries to also fuel up the Serpentine Curve. So what's the final card we want from the sideboard? We can consider a Biomathematician. We can consider the second Elemental Masterpiece. We can consider, I guess, Teach. Nah, I think Teach is a little bit unnecessary since most of our spells are powerful enough. We could consider an Explosive Welcome, but it seems a lot worse than just Elemental Masterpiece to give us some good curve toppers. Or I can just take a Wormhole Serpent, which could also be fine. Gives us a decent ground blocker on 5, which we currently don't have, and can also give us some evasion in the late game. It's pretty nice with the Pugilist, Quandrix Apprentice, and some of these other large creatures that we have. Let's see, so we have a couple decent creatures on turn 2, a decent amount of creatures on turn 3. On turn 4 we have a decent amount of creatures. 5 we just don't have any creatures, so maybe the Wormhole Serpent just gets in here. I don't. Otherwise, if the Wormhole Serpent wasn't in this pack, wasn't the option, I think I'd be looking at the second Elemental Masterpiece. But we do have a practical research on 5 already, and we already have 2 red spells, and we're still splashing red. I don't really want to go below like 8 green or 8 blue. So let's take a look at the mana base. Yeah, I think we need at least 8 green sources, so I think I'm going to cut an island, throw an extra green. And I don't want to add in an extra mountain in this deck by any means. So 8 green sources, 8 blue sources seems good. And then a mountain in the Prismari Campus to splash for these 2 red cards seems a lot better. So I think I like this. And then let's take a look again. Yeah, Biomathematician just isn't great. Elemental Masterpiece is going to be a little bit rough. Same with the Explosive Welcome. So yeah, I guess this is the type of deck we're looking at. Seems pretty awesome. And yeah, again, we're first picking a Cultivate to help us splash red for Temur. So yeah, let's do this again. I think this is the tier 1 archetype of this set. Along with Silverquill and just straight up blue-green Quandrix. Okay, opening hand. We have Cultivate on turn 3, which I'm happy with. I think I'll try it. If there wasn't any ramp spells, maybe I'd still keep this for the Pugilist on 3, but I don't really like the Serpentine Curve on turn 4. But I'm still fine with cultivating on turn 3 and then playing Augment or Pugilist with maybe Arcane Subtraction backup. So probably an aggressive Silverquill deck or Witherbloom. I'm not against cycling in Arcane Subtraction just to learn and prevent some damage. Yeah, this is always scary, the Essence Infusion on the Unwilling Ingredients, so I probably want to eventually Arcane Subtract this and bounce this. And I think I want to Arcane Subtract this turn just to prevent the damage from piling up. Because this can be kind of scary. Yeah, I think I want to cycle this on the 3-3. I don't want to get run over here. Containment Breach doesn't do anything. I do like the Fractal Summoning. Cultivate is going to get us our lands anyways. Could use some life gain. Pretty interesting here. So if we Cultivate, we'll have 5 mana. This will become a 3-3 eventually. We shouldn't have too much trouble getting our red. But the Environmental Sciences also helps with the Serpentine Curve, and it's also a card I can play along with the Augment or Pugilist. So I actually don't hate the Environmental Science. Also gains us against this aggressive Witherbloom deck, which can spiral out of control with a Blood Researcher. Okay, so this is a very explosive turn. Yeah, I guess I'll just Cultivate here. And we want the red mana to come in tapped. And then we just want another blue. So 2 Menace creatures. This is going to be a little bit rough. I might just die here if he has life gain synergies. Another Essence Infusion would suck. Okay. Let's going all in with the Essence Infusion. Can I have a permanent die so I can bounce this, please? Yeah, this isn't great. Might just need to cast the Augment or Pugilist and then Environmental Sciences to force a double block on this, or at least have it die so I can then bounce with the Augment with the Ether Helix. This is a rough turn. I think we need to get this down. And I think we need to cast our Environmental Sciences to at least stay alive for one extra turn. And grab, I guess, a Force now. But we'll be taking 9 down to 3, which I guess will be dead if we take another hit from Unwilling Ingredients. So yeah, I guess the opponent cheesed us out with double Essence Infusion and with the Unwilling Ingredients. So definitely don't sleep on this combo. Turn 1 Unwilling Ingredients with Essence Infusion is kind of busted. And can punish our these greedy Quadrix decks. Yeah, we're probably just dead here. Alright, good games, opponent. Yeah, pretty insane turn. Alright, you got me. So yeah, Unwilling Ingredients, Essence Infusion, or Eye Twitch and Essence Infusion is quite powerful. The black decks can definitely run away with some games in this set. So definitely don't sleep on aggro. Even though I think the control decks are slightly better in the long run, since if they're able to stabilize and play defense with multiple Burying Books and removal spells, they usually win the late game. This hand isn't great. We do have a Field Trip. I guess we're on a draw. If we get green for Field Trip, that would be nice. We can always Burying Books. This hand's kind of awkward. I think we want mulligan. And this hand's also very awkward, but we have Cultivate, so I think I'll keep. And then we'll be shuffling our library anyway, so I don't think I need an Elemental Masterpiece this early. We have enough late game bombs to ramp into. So this is almost just like our opening hand. Since now we just drew the Pugilist, and we also have Burying Books. Okay, green mana is good. I don't think I want to cycle Arcane Subtraction on the 2-1 unless he decides to pump it. I could also just bounce this back if he tries to Essence Infusion and do some sort of shenanigans with this. But I guess I think I'm fine taking 4 for now. Colony, so opponent's applying a bit of pressure. So hopefully this Cultivate will save my butt. Just want to get the green mana out, I think. And then do I just want? I guess I just want 2 green mana, 2 green lands here. I guess a mountain also wouldn't hurt. Yeah, let's just do this. Doesn't matter, I don't think it does. And we can keep up Arcane Subtraction and take a bit of damage in the meantime. Probably has a removal spell lined up, but I think I still go for it here. And I'm still fine firing off an Arcane Subtraction to prevent some damage as well. This way I can still learn and grab something. Baleful Mastery, that's a good one. Yeah, I might just cycle this to prevent myself from taking too much. And then we can maybe cast Snow Day instead to hopefully stabilize. And I think I like the Fractal Summoning, just a large creature that I can play. Okay, just passes the turn. Okay, this seems pretty good for me. So I don't mind just playing out an island here. I could Snow Day. I could also just make a 4/4. Snow Day isn't the worst. But it's better if I have a creature out on the battlefield and this can block quite nicely. Yeah, you know what? Let's make a 4/4. I don't really want this card to land. And this can halt him for the time being. You can also bait out a removal spell. I guess I could also Containment Breach the Campus Guide with the Learn card. But the opponent has been missing his land drops, but not now, I guess. If he has big play, I want to block the Campus Guide. Yeah, I think I want to block the Campus Guide because of big play, since it still trades. Sure. He can decide if he wants to put a land on top or not. Gets his land. Alright, I guess I want to waste a Snow Day on both of these cards. So I think I'll just pass and cast Snow Day and hopefully draw into some action. But it's not looking good here. Yeah, we can ditch the land. I think we just need playables here. Leyline Vacation, I can just bury. Guess I want to get the Quandrix Pledge Mage out first, and then use Burying Books on the 6/6 when Dice decides to attack. Hopefully no Beaming Defiance or some sort of Snakeskin Veil. Opponent can also choose not to attack here, which would waste my entire turn. And I would need to keep up Burying Books constantly, we'll see. I'm hoping he goes all in with this card. He might have an exponential growth into the Trample trick and we can blow him out with the Burying Books. I guess a fight spell, sure. I do lose my Quandrix Pledge Mage, but I should have 8 lands to deal with the smaller threats with the giant Scourge Colony. Aether Helix. Don't think I need to bounce anything. I can only get back a Pledge Mage, which doesn't seem too exciting. I think I just like the land into Scourge Colony here, since I'll have a 4/4. I guess I can also grab a Containment Breach here to deal with the 2/1. Wow, even a Rise of Exodus. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit rough. Opponent's also almost up to 8 mana, so I might want to Aether Helix away to Scourge Colony and get back the Quandrix Pledge Mage and take it slow. Simone, or cast a Containment Breach and then Aether Helix, maybe that's better. Actually, I want to bounce a token. This is going to become an 8/8, a 4/4 next turn if he has another land, so that's going to be very annoying. So maybe the play here is just Containment Breach on the Campus Guy to make a 1/1 pest. And this way we can double spell and chump. Or just double block the 2/2. If he makes a giant fractal, I think I just want to bounce it and get back one of my permanents. I can also double block the 2/2, and if he makes a fractal token, I can just bounce it and then just get back the Zimone. Maybe that's just better since I'm running out of Magecraft. Flug, sure. Ooh, Elemental Masterpiece, thank God. And this is how you win the late game of Quandrix, guys. I think I'm just going to block one of them. If he has a fight spell, I can just put a 1/1 in front of it. And this is why we have Aether Helix. Is watch this. We get to bounce as 5/5, and we also get to bring back Simone as our win condition. So you just need to outvalue the aggressive black decks in this set. Hopefully no Harness Infinity, that would be quite scary. Serpentine Curve is quite good. I think I just want to activate Simone main phase and maybe cast a Serpentine Curve. Alright, that's awesome. Yeah, let's just play it out there. Get our 10-10. I guess I'm fine attacking with all. Let's say he has a Harness Infinity and he gets to exile my 10-10. I think I should still be okay with this attack. And if he's gonna scry, that's even better for me. Yep. Colony, Simone, and Augmented Pugilist. I like this. If I keep top decking lands, I probably want Simone out, but it's a little bit safer to play her in the late game, where she's going to mostly shine. So we're probably going to leave the Skirt Colony instead. Leech Fanatic, okay. Ooh, Field Trip next turn is awesome. I think I still want to play out the Skirt Colony. And fine holding on to Pugilist and Simone in the meantime. Question is, do I trade for this? I don't think I do, since we should be able to play out the Professor the following turn and stabilize the ground. So I think I just want to grab an Environmental Scientist to get my red mana going, and then we can play Professor as well. Yeah, probably no reason to trade. This can become a 4/4 in the late game, which is really important, so I think I'm fine taking 2. And what's this, some sort of Soul Tie combination? Okay. The 4/3 can hold off the 2/2. Probably no blocks. 2 in the early game is not the end of the world. Blackish Trudge is a problem though. I can Environmental Sciences and play Augment or Pugilist, but that doesn't seem great. I think Professor Zoomancy's fine here. And then we can say go. And I'm fine trading the Colony for the Blackish Trudge. Although he could just buy it back, which is kind of annoying. If he attacks with both, I guess I'm fine double blocking the Leech Fanatic, or at least putting the Professor in front of it. I don't like how he can get this back, so I might just chump it instead. Yeah, I guess I'm fine chumping this. And we want to tap blue, and wow, double Blackish Trudge. Jesus, this is going to get out of hand. So I could regrowth and buy back Field Trip, but that's pretty mana inefficient. Or I guess I can regrowth and play Simone. Get back Field Trip. Maybe Environmental Sciences to hit my land drop is better, and then I can play out Augmenter Pugilist. I guess that's reasonable too. Ooh. I can put a 2/2 in front of a 4/2 and then keep both of my creatures back. We can Wormhole Serpent to get a good blocker against this 4-2 next turn. And we should be fine. Eventually, we could also just regrowth one of our creatures back, or regrowth the field trip to help us ramp into the bookworm. So I don't plan on blocking the professor, but at least I also don't think we're supposed to attack, because removal spells can just blow us out here. So I guess I'm fine taking 4, trading for 1 Blackish Trudge, and taking it slow. Strange attack. Probably fine putting the professor in front of this, and then just taking 8. Yeah, I think I'm fine with this. So then he can't get back the Blackish Trudge this turn. I do take a bit of a beating, but at least he can't bring this back right away immediately, which is also very annoying. So I don't want him to get free 2-for-1s here by bringing this back. Honor Troll's annoying. Okay, we'll just cast could regrowth into Field Trip. I think that I like the Wormhole Serpent, giving us a pretty good blocker against these Blackish Trudges, and we'll see go. Might regrowth into Field Trip if I draw nothing next turn. So this is scary. Maybe find blocking 1. And then taking 4. I just want to make it awkward for him. Because we're going to win the late game with the Elemental Masterpiece and Bookworm, we just need to survive. It's like the first game, essentially. So what does land do? Not much. I think we won the Field Trip here. And the extra learn also helps. And yeah, I want a Fractal Summoning to help me block. And we'll just pass the turn and say go. Cultivator, sure. So you could have that Professor's Warning here. I mean, with Green Man, I think he has that pump trick, so I think I'll put the 4-3 in front instead. Because the Wormhole Serpent is going to be pretty important in keeping up the rest of these creatures from attacking, since the extra toughness is really important. He can use it now, pump his creature, he'll still trade. Okay, I think he's sandbagging the pump trick here. So land is good, so now this becomes an 8-8. I can attack for 8, and I can also just play the Bookworm. He could also have the Death Touch trick, so maybe I'm fine just playing out the Bookworm here and say go. Eventually I can just sting a bunch of mana and make this an attack with this, but that's fine. Yup, I knew this was coming. So probably fine putting a Bookworm in front of this. If he uses a pump trick, I'm also fine. Yep. Guess that was a bit of a misplay for him. Yeah, I don't think I need to regrowth anything here. I could just play out Simone and the Death Touch creature. And then this... And I guess we can also just make the Pugilist unblockable in attack. Yeah, I think I'm fine making this unblockable and just attacking. Put him on a 3-turn clock. Guess it's lethal if I can make both creatures unblockable and attack with the 1/1. So yeah. All you need to do is stabilize against the aggressive black decks and you should be fine. Doesn't seem great. No field trips, a bunch of blue spells that don't help me ramp. Guess I'll say no. This hand is not great, but I'll keep. Can always Overgrown Arch and get red mana for the practical research. Snow Day is also fine, but I think it's the more expensive card we don't want. And I might just learn with the Overgrown Arch right away. Just to grab an Environmental Sciences to hit my land drops, we'll see. Yeah, it could just be reasonable here. It's not like he has any creatures that I want to block immediately. Just learn right now. Guess we could have done it at the end of his turn. But this is fine. Play our land, next turn we can get our red mana. We can even regrowth the wall if we want to be mana efficient. Or buy it back with the Ether Helix. Or just play Professor. I definitely don't want to regrowth this wall because I want the Ether Helix to bounce this, I guess. I'm fine with the Flunk. Orator is a little bit annoying. I can cast a Moan. I can regrowth the Professor or the Overgrown Arch and cast it. Doesn't seem great. I think I like the Environmental Sciences into red mana here. And the question is, do I cast a Moan here? I don't want to regrowth the wall because I can just buy it back with Ether Helix. Although, you know what? Let's just play out Simone. If I regrowth the wall, I can't even cast it anyway. So I think this is fine. And we just need to survive against this aggressive Silverquill deck, and we should be okay. So now I definitely want to bounce the Silverquill Pledge Mage here. He's going to attack for 6. I can get back the Overgrown Arch, I think. And then have another learn spell. I'm hoping he just dumps counters on both of his creatures here. Leech Fanatic, okay. Into a Stonerise Spirit, so this is a really aggressive deck. I guess an Arcane Subtraction doesn't hurt. This is rough, so I could regrowth the wall, but I want to cast the Arcane Subtraction here. Bouncing the Silverquill Pledge Mage also isn't the worst, but he's just gonna load up counters on his second creature, which I don't like. So if I use Ether Helix here, get back the Arch, that doesn't seem great. I could regrowth and get back the Arch. He's mostly gonna load up counters onto a single flyer, so I guess we're kind of in trouble here. So maybe I want to Arcane Subtraction and regrowth. If I regrowth now, I can get back Overgrown Arch, but if I don't play it, that's going to be a little bit suspicious. You know what, let's just bounce the Pledge Mage. And let's get back, I guess, Overgrown Arch. And we'll say go. I just don't want to take a ton of damage here. So if he wants to load up counters here, that's going to be a little bit annoying. I think I'm fine double blocking the Leech Fanatic. I do lose some Moan, but I can't really afford to take all this damage. Could chump, but still not great. Yeah, we're just going to have troubles dealing with these flyers here. So I guess it's just almost game over. Can't seem to cast a practical research. So I guess the only option now is Overgrown Arch. Hopefully he doesn't. I mean, he can just give this flying and we're screwed, so I think he has us, but maybe I can Arcane Subtraction to buy a turn. Yeah, we're just dead. Alright, GG. Silverquill is just too strong. I guess the people have smartened up against the Temur deck now. It's definitely been a lot more difficult to win with the Temur deck. I guess now the meta has defined itself. Most people know that aggro is actually really powerful too, and can just run away with games. So, getting punished for playing the greedy decks. Simone's alright. Right now, this doesn't look like a great hand, but hopefully we can draw into some action. You know what? I'll try this. On the draw, I'm hoping I can get a couple of lands off the top. But some of these cards here are pretty bad in the early game. Okay, maybe Arcane Subtraction into Environmental Sciences. At least we're playing it's a mirror match. I might even cycle this Arcane Subtraction next turn. Alright, land is good. And then I think we're just going to attack for 1 here. And cycle the Arcane Subtraction and maybe cast Environmental Sciences to hit our land drops. I'll just Arcane Subtraction my own Zimone. I think it's worth it. And we just want to get the Environmental Sciences. Land is good. Yeah, we'll just cast a Eureka Moment. I don't really care here. And attack for 1. Apprentice with Field Trip and Environmental Sciences will be quite insane. If I get a land, I might just Environmental Sciences into Field Trip though. Ooh, that's really good. Yep, multiple choices of bomb, so pretty much the mirror match. I could actually end up decking myself if I'm not too careful here. So since I only have 1 green mana, I don't really want to cast a Quandrix Apprentice, because if I do, I'll just end up decking myself. I could also just play the Wormhole Serpent, but I think the ramp is more important, so I think the right play here is Field Trip and Environmental Sciences. To get my second green source sorted out, get the Fractal Summoning. I guess I have to discard here, unless I play a land, of course. So probably just need, I guess, another green source. Ooh, I have to discard a card. That feels bad. This is interesting. Serpentine Curve is going to be quite large. Do I just discard the land anyways? Snow Day is a little bit weird and clunky. We can always just buy back to Snow Day with the Regrowth, so I don't mind just discarding this. I need to ensure that I can hit my land drops in this type of deck. Okay. So I should be a little bit worried if the opponent tries to out-tempo me here. I can Wormhole Serpent and Quandrix Apprentice. I can Serpentine Curve and play a 3-drop. I can also just Simone and Wormhole Serpent, actually. Lots of options. I think I just want Quandrix Apprentice into Wormhole Serpent here, and hopefully stabilize the ground. Can still take a couple of hits, I think, and we should be fine. Could see an introduction to Annihilation, which isn't too bad against us since we can end up decking ourselves in this match. If he intros on the Apprentice, I think I'm fine with that. If he uses on the Wormhole Serpent, the question is, do I block and trade? I think I do. I just don't want to get run over. And we should have enough card advantage. I don't need to care about this Apprentice too much. Ooh, Eureka Moments. So, guess I can Serpentine Curve here and Eureka Moment end of turn. If he has another removal spell, I'm gonna have some trouble. I can also just make a 6/6, but a 6/6 Serpentine Curve is better. I could also just regrowth, buy back a spell, and then cast Simone as well, or I can just Eureka Moment main phase and make a 7/7. I think that's better. Yeah, we'll just make a 7/7 here. Seems fine. Opponent is playing the same deck as me, that's why he's emoting here. So it's just going to be a long grind. So Wormhole Serpent is probably going to be an important spell to get back to help stabilize. I can also play an 80. I guess this is how much lands? I guess this is 8 lands, so now the Augmented Pugilist also looks great here. And I can also Practical Research main phase if I want to. I'm not against that. Or maybe just cast Regrowth and Simone. Regrowth can give me my Wormhole Serpent back, although it got exiled, so it's not that great. Maybe I just need another giant Serpentine Curve. I think I like that. I don't think I need all this card advantage anymore. I think I just want another giant big boy here. And also play giant big boy. And Sigo. This attack isn't great because he can just double block it here. So we're just playing the mirror match. Opponent's emoting because we're just playing out the mirror match, which is just back and forth. I guess I can attack for the 8/8. If he blocks, I can Burying Books. It's going to be 5 mana, so, but I do have some good blockers, so I think I just attack here and maybe force it a trade or use the Burying Books as an offensive mechanism. I might just triple block this. I do like the double block here, though. Yep, I think this is fine, and we can Burying Books to 6/6. It didn't seem like he had anything. And we got him, sweet. Alright, doesn't seem great. Don't want to cast Regrowth, Arcane Subtraction, or Professor, so I think this is a mulligan. This seems slightly better. I think we'll keep this, and then we'll bottom. I like the Apprentice. Augmented Pugilist is going to be hard to cast, but I do want the Eureka Moment along with it. Burying Books is also fine. This is a little bit rough. Maybe I just bomb the Burying Books anyways, or just the Pugilist, and hopefully draw it later. I think that's okay since we can't cast it unless we have double green. So definitely the game we want to get the Fractal Summoning online. And we got late game spell anyways, so that's fine. I might just bury this just to prevent a little bit of damage, especially with Dina. Opponent's deciding whether or not to pump this creature, of course. But this Dina Drain is going to be a little bit scary. So we'll just play land and pass, I think. That's rough. Sure. I'll just bury the Leech Fanatic so I don't take too much damage. Take a bit of damage from Dina, but I can Eureka Moments and start ramping to my Elemental Masterpiece. At least this is gone and you can't deal with any large fractals. And I'm at 15 life, which is still very nice. And the Overgrown Arch can also start gaining me life. I still have a couple of good learn cards too in the deck. I actually don't mind just keeping this around as a good ground blocker. And they can also start gaining me life, so I think I like untapping with this. I can always buy this. I guess I can't buy anything back here since there's no permanence. But we'll just make 2 4/4s here to halt the ground. We can grab a Fractal Summoning. It's not going to be very large though. Cultivates, sure. I'll keep thinning out the deck. And get my 4/4 online. Could attack with both, or just attack with one of them. If he has a removal spell, then that's not great, so I think I'll just attack for 4, and I can sack the Overgrown Arch and get a Fractal Summoning next turn. Just start applying pressure. Yep, he had a removal spell anyways, so it's good that I kept one back so he doesn't get to free roll me. And I can always buy back the Scourge Colony with the Ether Helix. And if he wants to just spend his turn using removal, that's fine. There's no reason for me to block this, since I'm going to take damage from the Mage Hunter's Onslaught anyways. So I think I'm fine just taking the hit here and not risking some sort of pump trick. And we'll just grab a Fractal Summoning. Ooh, Bookworm, never mind. Let's just play a Bookworm. And do I attack for 4 here? Still a little bit risky here, because I can definitely take too much damage from this life gain synergy, so I think this is fine. Just pass the turn. And then just have him waste all of his removal spells, and we should be fine. Can always Snow Day on his turn. Snow Day seems quite awesome, so I think I like the Zamone. And then we can say go, and then we can use Snow Day on both of these creatures, and then... Yep, the Snow Day here. I think I'm fine with Dina having the sack ability up, since I actually don't mind Dina dying. Probably don't need lands here. Practicals research, wow, we have all the value. Let's move to combat. I don't mind him sacking here and trading. It only gets power and not toughness, so this is fine here. We can also draw cards, but I have enough card draw here. I think I just want to make a 7/7. So yeah, that's the problem with the black decks. You need to kill the opponent quickly, otherwise they can just get out of hand. You know what? I'll sacrifice Simone. I have lethal on board. And I don't care if he chops with Dina. I guess he's just dead here if I just use the Ether Helix. And then we want to bring back Simone. And he's just dead. Pretty easy victory. Simone on 2, and we can ramp with her into Eureka Moment. Seems great. I just like the flexibility, the flexibility of Simone not only being a card draw engine in the late game, but also a way to ramp. Now Killian's pretty busted. I could just play out creatures first, I think, before I try to ramp with Simone or Eureka Moment here. And I might actually just play out the Professor next turn, so this Killian doesn't get out of hand. If I double block here, I could force a Pump Trick. A Beaming Defiance would be kind of bad, but at least I can bait it out. You know what? Yeah, let's go for it. I want to get rid of it now. And that's good. I think I'm fine attacking for 2 and playing out the Professor. And this turn maybe we can step. If we get an Island, we can Eureka Moment and Arcane Subtraction in the same turn. But Killian's just too strong to allow to run around, so I think taking him out was correct. Ooh, that's a good one. And also brings it back, so yeah, this can be kind of scary. Might just need to stay back this game. Yeah, just say go. I could attack with a 2/2, but if he has removal, I need a way to defend against Killian, so... So let's say he has a Mage Hunter's Onslaught, I can still double block Killian. Hunt, that's really strong. So he can give the Silverquill Pledge Mage flying. This is annoying, that's why Scourge Colonies are very important in this deck, since they can block off the flying Silverquill threats. He can eventually just give them evasion anyways with the land, so I do need to start being aggressive, hopefully. So I might start might start attacking the Professor now. Regrowth is nice. Yeah, I might need to start attacking the Professor, and then I can still keep up the Quandrix Pledge Mage. I think we need to start being aggressive, otherwise it's going to be a little too difficult to win. And I think I want the Pledge Mage here to set up some nice Magecraft. Okay, I think I'm fine with this. And I'm fine double blocking Killian and using an Arcane Subtraction. Yes, I want his Killian to attack. He can use a Professor's Warning, but I can maybe Arcane Subtraction response. Yeah, he probably has a Professor's Warning. They always have it, typically speaking. I guess I want that to resolve first, to know whether or not he places a counter onto his creature. He wants to give it indestructible. Yeah, subtraction and response. And then I guess we can grab, Environmental Sciences to hit our red mana. Sure. Ether Helix to bounce the token could be nice. And I can get back like a Zamone or something. I guess I want to Sciences first and then play it out. And then we want to get our red mana going. And then I can also just bounce the Silverquill Pledge Mage to put him behind on tempo. He can just, sure, he can play everything out again. I can also just bounce the 1/1 token. How much damage is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Putting him down to 8. But that doesn't seem great. Yeah, I could just bounce the Pledge Mage or the Killian to prevent the life from happening. This is a very interesting turn. He can just replay it though and gain a ton of life back with the Inkling Summoning, so I don't know what to do here. Maybe it is just the Pledge Mage and then I'll take one extra less damage, which could be reasonable. Or I can just bounce a token and start chipping in. But then he'll just start gaining life with the Killian. And then he's going to be back to 10. This isn't great. It's pretty bad for me. I can also just still keep a creature back maybe. And just attack for 4, but I think that's too slow. So as weird as it seems, I think we have to bounce a token here and then bring back Zamone. And just attack with ball. I think I might have to keep the 1/1 token back to keep, so then he has to give this flying instead of lifelink. That's just better. And if we get land, we can also regrowth and then buy back the Ether Helix. I guess we have enough mana to do that next turn, so if we can regrowth, buy back the Ether Helix, and get rid of a blocker, we can kill him. So next turn, regrowth Ether Helix and grow a pretty large Pledge Mage, and we can just kill him from there. So he gives lifelink, and then I'm probably going to block the Silverquill Pledge Mage here. So the question is, can I kill him? Unwilling Ingredient, just as a random chump blocker. So this is very interesting to note. I think I might have to just get in there with the Ether Helix, although I don't have any permanents to get back, so that's not great, so I probably just need to play land. Wormhole Serpent into Zamone, I guess. And then I think I want to attack with both. Yeah, I think I need to attack with both here, otherwise I don't think I'm winning. If he double blocks, I'm also happy. I I guess he has lethal now, but yeah. It's hard to beat a really dedicated Silverquill deck. So yeah, if he has a pump trick, then I'm just dead. I mean, like, if he has a removal, am I dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess Mage Hunter's Onslaught is lethal here. But, you know, I can't afford to stay back if he's just going to keep gaining life of Killian. I can always regrow from the Arcane Subtraction, or I guess the Environmental Sciences to gain some life. If he pumps this, I can just double block. I'm okay with it. But Killian's just such a busted uncommon. Okay, Combat Professor, I still think I'm fine double blocking Killian. Yeah, I still think I do this. So the question is, can I kill him? I guess I can make both creatures unblockable, the Wormhole Serpent, and that's lethal. So I think that's the game plan. We want to make this unblockable, make this unblockable, and we got 9. So yep, we have lethal. Really close match, but Wormhole Serpent saved our butts. Could have gotten back Ether Helix, but that wouldn't have been lethal since he would have blocked our biggest creature. Alright, Quandrix Apprentice. Hopefully we can Magecraft with this. I think this is a keep. Ooh, okay. In the Pledge Mage, so hopefully we can trigger Magecraft multiple times to start going to town. Might even try to ditch this Elemental Masterpiece to make a treasure token. Don't know if it's worth it though. I like the Pledge Mage before the Field Trip. So just play Mythic Uncommon after Mythic Uncommon. Ooh, that's a good one. Luckily, hopefully, I mean usually the Temur decks don't have a ton of life gain, but that's still a very sweet card. So we want the Field Trip here, and I think we want to get the red mana active and going. So I think we want the Environmental Sciences, and then we can just pass the turn. Take 4. And hopefully he doesn't take out this Pledge Mage, because he might just be our way to fight back against this Temur deck. Definitely better in Witherbloom. In Silverquill, I mean, in Quandrix it could be okay if you have Environmental Sciences, but there's not a ton of life gain in Quandrix, I mean, so still a little bit rough to get going, but we can maybe feel a Serpentine Curve. Wow, Lightning Bolt, Jesus. Ooh, opponent has all the goodies. So I might want to bury this in books, just to prevent me from taking too much damage. Although burying books can be pretty good against fractal tokens. So let's just say I played a Scourge Colony, it still can't block next turn. So I probably want to bury this in books and try to prevent as much damage as possible and make larger fractal summonings than the opponent. Just don't want to take too much here. Snakeskin Veil would suck. Just a Eureka moment, that's fine. Maybe should allow the bounce to happen first, so he can draw back Lizette. Simone. I could also Serpentine Curve. I can Skirt Colony into Simone, but that doesn't seem great. Probably find main phasing Practical Research so I can hit my land drops. And I can also just discard, I guess, Arcane Subtraction. As much as I like Learn, we have a decent amount of Learn still in the library, so this is fine. And we can still Elemental Masterpiece next turn. Wandering Archaic, I guess that's going to put a halt to our game plans. So I don't necessarily want to Cultivate into this. I can Serpentine Curve and pay for 2. Man, this card makes things a little bit awkward. Might want to Cultivate here to get more land drops so I don't have to deal with this. So I think I want to Cultivate here. That's going to trigger. I'm going to let that resolve. And I'll pay both my mana for it. And then we'll get both lands out onto the battlefield, into my hand. And then I guess this is an 8/8, so I can at least offer trade with the 4/4. I mean, a 4/4, I mean. Question is, do I block this? Maybe not. Because he could have like an Arcane Subtraction, so maybe I'm supposed to take 4, but 4 is a lot of damage. So it might be worth actually just at least forcing the Arcane Subtraction, since I have some large Elemental Masterpieces to follow up. $18 cards left in the library, wow. Opponent with his own Practical Research. Mage Duel, sure, take 5. Ooh, Augmenter Pugilist is nice, and I guess now we can start deploying some creatures. I think I like that. Just have an 8/8 out, a wall, and I guess a Vortex Runner over Zamone. Although Zamone can draw me some cards, but I have a lot of big things I want to deploy, so this is better. Leyline Invocation. Guess I want to just keep the 8/8 back. The Regrowth can buy me back, I guess, a Burying Books. But that's going to be pretty expensive to cast. So I probably just want to keep the 8/8 back. And maybe just Elemental Masterpiece for this turn. And pay for the tax. And fine attack. Can gain life end of turn as well. We do have a Wormhole Serpent in the deck that can help us go over the top. So it keeps up Burying Books, I'm assuming. So we want to just gain a life here. Ether Helix is nice. And I can also just get back to Scourge Colony or Quandrix Apprentice. I think I like that as well. And then I can still play Zamone. So this seems good. And yeah, we'll get back Quandrix Pledge Mage. Could see a negate here. And I think I attack with all. Sure, he can negate and Burying Books, but that's fine with me. I need to start getting aggressive here. Double Burying Books would kind of suck, but I'm still hitting in for 11, so that's quite good. Probably see Arcane Subtraction here. Yep, probably see Burying Books here. Ooh, Quandrix Command. Sure. A 6/6 is kind of scary, but at least we're chipping in for some damage. And the burying books, wow, he debates even, Jesus. Alright, I guess we're gonna get blown out here. I can still chump and gain life and sack this eventually, so hopefully that's just all he has. Snow Day, and I guess I'll just gain a life here and take 6. Eureka moment. I think I need to Serpentine Curve this turn and just get out the Augmenter Pugilist. And I don't think I have time to cast the Pledge Mage. So this is fine. And hopefully this puts him back on the defensive again. Second Snow Day would kind of suck, but I mean, I'd still be alive unless he has a big play. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, so this is 4 mana. I can actually give him a copy of Regrowth too if he taps out, and I can maybe get back the Ether Helix, bounce something, and attack for the win. So now what? Can Overgrown Arch and get a Fractal Summoning token. Unfortunately, this isn't an artifact, so I can't blow it up. I can also just keep back Zamon back. Lots of options. Maybe I can regrowth here and buy back the Ether Helix and see what's up. How much mana would that be? That would be, so this is 4 mana to regrowth and not have him get one. So how much mana do I have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 4 mana, and then Ether Helix would be 7 mana. So that would be, so I would need 11 mana to really get something going. Regrowth can buy me back, I guess. Maybe Arcane Subtraction. Maybe I just attack with these 3 and see what happens here. Maybe that's fine. Hopefully no second Quandrix command, but at least a Quandrix command would trade for the Pugilist instead of him killing a free creature. So I think this is okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. I guess it's not game over yet. Might as well gain some life so I don't end up dying. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared. I might want some extra life gain so I don't end up dying, so I might actually regrowth for Environmental Sciences. Yeah, I think that's safer, so I don't end up dying to another Explosive Welcome. Actually should have played out the Quandrix Pledge Mage first. And now cast Environmental Sciences. And then we'll say go. If he has like a Crackle of Power, then I'm screwed. Okay, at least I played around it. Yep, Environmental Sciences saved my ass. Awesome. Yep, we knew it was coming. The Explosive Welcome in the face was obviously a burn spell, I think, and we got a Dumpster Mythic. Still at 1k Dumpster Mythic, but at least it's not 99% or 98% Dumpster Mythic. But wow, yeah. Knew he had face burn, otherwise sending 5 damage to my face was kind of strange. But there we have it, Temur Justice, final boss. Let's do this. Get another nice 7-win Temur deck out of the way. I think I have a multiple choice in the deck that I only played once. I think it was in the first game, and it has been hiding ever since. So this is the 9th game. Hopefully I can get to 7. But overall, the games have been pretty fun and grindy. Just having a lot of bad luck against those hyper-aggressive Silverquill and Witterbloom decks. So I guess those are our biggest weakness. Okay, Field Trip I like. And get a red mana, start growing the Serpentine Curve. And on the play, it's also good against Silverquill. Definitely want to hold on to this. Ooh, Cultivate's even better. Yeah, I guess I want to Cultivate instead. And we can also Field Trip, and then grab like an Elemental Summoning or Fractal Summoning. So we're about to play like a turn 4 Elemental Masterpiece. Golem is scary, but now we can just Field Trip. I guess we want to tap our mana like civilized people. I guess we should have enough for Elemental Masterpiece anyways. Ooh, Containment Breach can deal with the Golem, so that's actually pretty good here. Let's take it. And I think I'm fine playing the Zimone here. So we can take out this Golem next turn and then maybe cast a 3-drop or just play out Elemental Masterpiece. Should be pretty reasonable. Could even get greedy and just cast the Elemental Masterpiece. Yeah, I'll take this out now before it gets out of hand. That was a really nice sideboard decision, and then Vortex Runner's okay. I just want a larger Serpentine Curve. Do I play around Go Blank? I don't think so. I think the extra land helps me get to the evasive Vortex Runner. So that's fine, and I can just play out the Elemental Masterpiece next turn. Expand Anatomy. Guess I'll take 4. Doesn't feel great, but I'll take it. Wormhole Serpent. Probably just want to cast the Elemental Masterpiece. And I guess I'm fine playing land and then attacking for 3. And then we can still double block the Legion Fanatic in case we're afraid of any pump tricks. Luckily this isn't black-green, so he can't give Death Touch to his creature. So probably fine just double blocking this if he decides to attack. Wormhole Serpent's also nice win condition. That's pretty annoying. Vortex Runner, yeah, I think I need the Vortex Runner. So I think I'm just going to block with the 4/4 here. It could easily just be Professor's Warning, but I think I'm fine. Or I can just take 4 instead of a double block next turn. Professor's Warning would suck here because he can just put a counter and he'll be okay. But if he's afraid of attacking, then... is he trying to bait me into thinking he doesn't have Professor's Warning? You know what, I'll still block it. Yep, and now I can just deploy my hand. And attack for 3. And we have a Wormhole Serpent as a good blocker in a win condition for our 2 creatures. I could even just attack with Fall and just take 2 on the way back, to be honest. The life gain with this card also just sucks though. We'll main phase Eureka Moments instead, I guess. Snow Day is awesome, so we can also just regrowth here, get back maybe a Serpentine Curve or Elemental Masterpiece. You know what, I think I'd like to regrowth into Serpentine Curve, because I can just play it and make it unblockable. Seems quite good. And do I want to attack with a 5/5? Not really. because he can just chomp. But I want to use a Wormhole Serpent to make it unblockable. I don't want to really give him a card either. Knew that was coming, sure. He can attack me for 4. I can cast a Snow Day at the end of his turn as well. Do I have enough for Snow Day and Serpentine Curve? I don't think so. Necrotic Fumes, okay. So I might want to just try to exile my Wormhole Serpent. Let's see, do I have enough for a Snow Day? I guess I do. So I think playing out the Serpentine Curve is fine here. And I'm fine attacking for 6. And using Snow Day on the Silverquill Pledge Mage and the Unwilling Ingredient. He might Necrotic Fumes on the 7/7 instead. He might choose Lifelink here. Sure. I think I like the Campus more than the untapped land. Pugilist is nice. Do I care? No, I think I attack with both. I'm fine with a chump as well. I'm offering you a chump, opponent. Come on. Can't even scry end of turn, since I should have enough mana to cast basically anything with all these lands. Exile effect or removal will be annoying. Luckily he doesn't have it. Alright, awesome. Nice 7 and 2. Can never 7 and 1 with Quantrix or Temur, I guess, since sometimes you can just get cheesed out by the aggressive decks or face against a much more powerful Temur deck. But this deck was really awesome, so glad that I managed to go this direction. So yeah, Temur Justice again. I think this is the I think this is our third or fourth Temur deck. I know I did 2 videos on this already, but yeah, quick overview of the video. Just a lot of great late game cards. Splashing Red for a Elemental Masterpiece and Practical Research was great. Just overall really solid and consistent. Decent amount of 2-drops to help me hold the fort in the early game, and also Zamone and Wormhole Serpent being a great mana sink. Turn 3 Cultivate, Field Trip is also great. Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about with this deck. It's just overall just very well rounded and has some powerful utility spells, card advantage spells, and large creatures. It was only lacking one thing, and that was removal, but we still have bounce spells to and tap spells like Snow Day, Ether Helix, Burying Books to at least bounce the creature back, so we can get in for some large hits for our giant creatures to try to outrace the opponent. But I could have used a Mage Stool. But overall, pretty solid deck, and I'm quite happy drafting this. So let's crack some packs, and we finally got a Dumpster Mythic as well, 1345, which does make me happy. So let's don't know if I want to fire off another draft, because I could just head back to Dumpster Mythic if I face against too much Silverquill opponent's deck, but let's crack some packs, pretend we're drafting Strixhaven. Pack 1, pick 1. Funny, I would actually take Guiding Voice over Snow Day and Elemental Summoning here. I think this is the best white common, and I think white is underrated. Honestly, I think now the worst color in the set is probably red, even though Heated Debate is the best common. The white decks have been overall really impressive with Guiding Voices, Inkling Summonings, and just scary 2-drops like Eager First Year, and even like Killion, which is scary. But yeah, I would take Guiding Voice over Snow Day, cheap way to learn. And I prefer to take the learn cards over the lessons, pack 1, pick 1, preferably because you need a way to grab the lessons in the first place. And overall, they just have nice value. So yeah, with Guiding Voice, pack 1, pick 1 here. The best white common is Guiding Voice. Yeah, easy cultivate. We just did it last draft, and it was pretty awesome, allowing me to splash easily and hit and ramp. And definitely, even though Witherbloom doesn't care as much about ramp as Quandrix, it's still important in any green deck to have ramp, since there's some pretty powerful finishers like Leyline Invocation and the Bookworm you can ramp into in Witherbloom. Plus, you can also open up Harness Infinity or Belladros Witherbloom, and you want a way to get to it. So yeah, Cultivate's great, and you can even splash white for Expel and maybe like closing statements in Witherbloom, so the Cultivate also helps with that. If this wasn't his pack, I would probably take Decisive Denial over Snow Day. Snow Day is fine, but pretty expensive for what it does. I like the fact that it's a nice 2-for-1 since it draws you 2 cards. But Decisive Denial is, again, a lot more cheaper, efficient, and very versatile, so I like this card. And Quandrix is a lacking removal, so it's more important to pick up the removal spells. Probably take Expand Anatomy. This card's best in an aggressive deck, mostly going to be base white, but still fine in the more controlling value-oriented decks, but still goes in any deck, so I'll take it over Mentor's Guidance, which is okay. If you have creatures that want to trigger Magecraft, the Mentor's Guidance is great. Primal Command, let me talk to you about this card. It isn't a bad card, but it also isn't amazing. For the most part, with Primal Command, you're mostly interested in the 4th ability, where you can search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and put it in your hand. And then the rest of the other 3s are okay. Getting 7 life can help you stabilize. Putting a target non-creature permanent on top of his owner's library could be a land, so you can deny them a draw step by putting a land back on top of their library, and then making them play it. And then also the 3rd ability, being able to shuffle your graveyard into your library, can help with grindy games if you're about to deck, so it can be nice with Quandrix, since it tends to draw a bunch of cards. But for the most part, I'm not really a big fan of Primal Command. I think it's more okay than it looks. Reflective Golem, on the other hand, can be pretty scary in Silverquill. Definitely don't sleep on this card. Just being able to copy Expanded Anatomies or Guiding Voice can just get out of hand. But overall, outside of Silverquill or Lorehold Aggro with Guiding Voice, this card isn't very good. I wouldn't really recommend playing this unless I was in Silverquill or Lorehold Aggro. And I guess there's also Prismari Apprentice, but it's in 2 colors. Yeah, I would still probably take Primal Command over Reflective Golem. Like, you could still be in a really strong Silverquill deck without Reflective Golem, and I guess there's an argument said that you can still be in a pretty powerful green Witherbloom deck or Quandrix deck without Primal Command. I think both of these are close in the respective archetypes, but I think maybe Primal Command can just do a lot more. It just has the versatility of having more options compared to Reflective Golem, so maybe I would still take Primal Command, and it's also pretty cute as a mystical archive card that you can play. So yeah, we'll take Primal Command, but it's close with Reflective Golem. Humiliate seems pretty good. Best card in this pack. Nice 2-for-1. Almost, I guess it's a 1.5-for-1. You get to take a card from their opponent's hand, from the opponent's hand, and you also get to enhance a creature. Not necessarily a 2-for-1, since putting a counter is okay, but it's not like completely broken or busted. And this is still a nice 1-for-1 that can snipe their biggest bomb in their hand. So I'm a big fan of Humiliate. Blow Out the Sky is just an insane bomb. Definitely one of the cards you don't mind splashing the Witherbloom deck as well. Basically, every single time I played against this card, I lose. I've never really got to draft or play this card, though, even in real life, in Paper Magic. But yeah, if you do play against an opponent that just plays this and you can't kill them the following turn, they just win. Blow Out the Sky is just an insane bomb. This is obviously the first pick. If this wasn't his pack, probably would take Heated Debate as the best common in the set over Lash, Combat Professor, and Master Symmetrist, and even Snakeskin Veil, which is quite good. But yeah, Blow Out the Sky is a bomb, and a card I'd be happy to finally draft, but haven't had the chance to do it. Devouring Tendrils, good removal spell, and removal is more important, I think, than Lessons in the set. Simply because if you do end up in Quandrix, you don't have a ton of removal, and it's very important to pick them up. But the second pick would be Elemental Summoning as a good lesson you can play in any blue or green or blue or red deck. Expressive Iteration is also nice 2-for-1. Pop Quiz is an okay way to learn if you're lacking ways to learn, but would still take Devouring Tendrils here. And yeah, there we have it. I think this is our 3rd or 4th Temur draft video, not sure, but got to get another 7 overall. Just been on a huge win streak, and we also got out of Dumpster Mythic ranking. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and hope you guys enjoy more Strixhaven content in the future. Have a good one. Bye.